What was once the Polk County Courthouse now serves as the Polk County History Center and houses the Historical Museum and Library. The museum serves Polk's community through special events, volunteer opportunities, and educational programs. More details are coming up next on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Tina Mann, and joining me in the studio today is Murtish Young, the Historic Preservation Manager at the Polk County History Center.
Good morning, Tina.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So, why don't we talk a little bit about May happenings at the History Center?
May is a really fun month for us. We'll start talking about our History Time Tots, relatively new program that Cynthia Alley, our Curator of Education program, implemented. It is an activity that is designed for children 5 and under with a level that is appropriate for children 5 and up to 10. And so every month we have a new theme, and so we have a program in the Children's Discovery area where the children can come in, and there's a special book that's always selected, and Cynthia reads the book to our little visitors, and then there's always an activity that goes along with that. And then, of course, we try to carry the theme through everything else we're doing. So when we talk about other things in the museum, I'll kind of give you an idea of what will be coming up in May for History Time Tots. There are 2 special days in May. May 4th at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's on Saturday. And then again on Tuesday, May 14th, and that's at 10 o'clock in the morning. History Time Tots.
Sounds like fun. So there's also a couple other special dates in May for the Race and Culture Lecture Series. There's 2 pretty big events as well. So why don't we start out by talking about the actual lecture series that's on May 14th.
We are really looking forward to this event because we are featuring Lou Vickers. Lou is an author who has been with us in the past. She is fun and has such interesting themes. So the theme for May, as we continue this unique opportunity to talk about differences in race and culture, Lou Vickers is going to be talking about Paradise remembering Paradise Park. Paradise Park was one of Florida's early theme parks that was exclusively designed to host African American visitors. It was a very early period in Florida's tourism, and the interesting thing about it is Paradise Park was a theme park that was developed right next door to Silver Springs. And of course Silver Springs, this is during the Jim Crow era, and it was exclusively open to white visitors. So a lot of the people who actually worked or drove the boats at Silver Springs or worked on the boats were African American gentlemen, and they wanted so much to have a place for their families to enjoy this beautiful tourism attraction. So the owners of the park said, we'd like to do this. So a park was developed, and it was Paradise Park, right alongside Silver Springs, right along the same area. And Dr. Vickers is going to we'll have beautiful photos from the period of time that the park was in operation, and she'll be telling the story about the development of the park and the visitors and how that came to be. And again, an opportunity for us to hear the stories of our change from our Jim Crow era to present day. And then we learn historically what was going on at Paradise Park, and then we have an opportunity to talk about how we feel about that today. What feelings do we have about this particular period in history?
For me, it's a feeling of absolute, just not disbelief, because I know it happened, but like, how could that have happened? I mean, because I lived in an era where there is no segregation. From the time I was born in 1980, there's not been the same amount of segregation. I never lived through that. So for me, it's like, I can't even imagine denying entry to anyone, much less, you know, somebody of a different race or color. I mean, it's just, it's just foreign to me. So it'll be a really interesting lecture. And I know she's come before to talk about Cypress Gardens, so she really has done some extensive research on all these parks around Polk County, and she's an engaging speaker. So it's definitely something you don't want to miss. So that's actually held in the evenings.
That is an evening program. We start at 5:30. And one of the things that we're going to offer, we realize that this is an important time for families, and it's important for us to have families participating in the discussion and the dialogue. So what we're going to offer is just some child care. That sounds a little bit, but we'll have activities for children that are 5 up to 10 who might not be able to sit through a lecture, but we'll have some things going on for them too if families want to bring their younger children and feel that they have something interesting that they can do during the lecture. It's 5:30 to 7:30.
That sounds like a fantastic idea. I mean, as a parent, I would have, really appreciated somebody keeping an eye on my kids so I could actually enjoy the lecture. So,
Right.
yeah. So also coming up, as always, is the architectural tour on May 18th.
Our popular architectural tour. Actually, the History Center is situated in a very important piece of architecture in the historic courthouse. So we offer the tours to give people an opportunity to learn about this neoclassical architecture, about the restoration of the building, its early uses and its current use, and some of its stories about restoration and preservation.
So that's at 11. So they should come to the architectural tour, hang out in Bartow for a little bit, and then stay for the second half of the Race and Culture Lecture Series event, which is actually honoring the Emancipation Proclamation.
It is indeed. We will begin the evening, as we do with all of these lecture series, at 5:30, again, continuing the race and culture discussions across cultural differences. We'll start with a commemoration of the 154th anniversary of the Florida Emancipation Proclamation. One of our favorite historians and participants at the History Center, Lloyd Harris, will be doing a short program on the Emancipation, and we'll have a commemoration of that event and that occasion. And then we continue the evening with one of our speakers in the lecture series. And I'd like to mention this entire lecture series has been made possible through a grant through the Florida Humanities Council. Most of these speakers are speakers who participate in the Speakers Bureau of the Florida Humanities Council, and it is through a community grant that we were able to bring this program to the county. So I want to make sure that we give them a little credit for a lot of credit, because this program is made possible because of the fine generosity of the Florida Humanities Council. The particular speaker for the evening is Dr. Kitty Oliver, and she has a very interesting approach to conversations across cultural barriers. She uses music. So the evening will continue with a collection of jazz, and as she calls it, multicolored memories. And then through music and the evolution of music and performances, we'll continue to have an opportunity to talk about the differences in our race and culture.
It's going to be a really fun evening, so great way to spend your Saturday night. So, and then also we're continuing the Out of the Archives speaker series that was very popular this last month, and what are we continuing with?
That was really fun. We talked about our Lunch and Learn series, and I thought, it's time for us to sort of mix it up and make it a little different. And we realized, as we've been going through a national accreditation process, one of the very important parts of that is the collections management. So we've been spending a lot of time in our archives and processing the collection. So I thought, we have things in our attic that people will never see because they have been donated to us, but they might not fit the mission of preserving or telling the story of Polk County's history through the galleries that we have. So we started the series with a very interesting collection of toys. So in May, we're going to feature the library, and I'm so excited that the guest speaker will be an intern who has been with us. She's an intern at Florida Southern College, and her name is Courtney Hill. Courtney, as a part of her senior project, participated in the collections management at the History Center. Well, she became fascinated with this very significant collection of Florida postcards, historic postcards. So she's created a program that's called Don't Forget the Stamp, and she's going to do a presentation on these lovely postcards, and we'll share some of those, and we'll tell the story about those, and you know how postcards were so important in the early days of tourism. So Courtney Hill, in May 21st at 12:15, our regular time for our daytime lecture series, will do a presentation on postcards.
That sounds really fun. And how ambitious of her as an intern. I don't think as a almost college graduate, I would have felt comfortable getting up and presenting and doing things like that. I mean, I'm at the point where, you know, I'm nearly 40 and I'm still a little nervous about presenting in front of people. So that's awesome that she's willing to do that.
It is a really nice compliment to the students, and particularly Florida Southern College students who come to us. They have a passion for history or education. I think actually Courtney's degree is in education, but because we have a great collection of tools to help in learning, you know, it's all a learning environment, that she could become so excited about it and take this on and just make it hers. We are really excited to feature one of our interns.
Yes, and it's a little sad that the art of the postcard has kind of fallen away. I remember when my grandparents would go out of town, I would always get a postcard, or my friends would send me something from somewhere. It was always exciting to get that in the mail.
Oh, it is.
So
a
we need to bring
written
that
note,
back.
just something written, what a treasure.
We need to make a revolution to bring all that back.
That's a good idea, Tina. Why don't we have a postcard Saturday?
We
can
should.
gather together and write postcards to all our friends.
bring some joy back into people's lives. So May sounds like it's going to be a really exciting time, as always, to visit the History Center, and we appreciate all that you do there. So thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having us. We love to tell our stories.
Polk County has a rich history and heritage, and the Polk County History Center is continuously thinking of new ways to help Polk residents experience that history. The museum's collection includes natural and cultural objects related to Polk and the greater Central Florida area that represent our history from pre-Columbian to present-day eras. The artifacts on display at the museum represent individuals, cultural groups, and events significant to the region. Located at 100 East Main Street in Bartow, the History Center is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. For more information about exhibits and events, you can check them out on the web at polkhistorycenter.org or give them a call at 863-534-4386.